Ever found yourself drowning in a sea of NetSuite permissions, desperately trying to grant access to a new team member, or maybe just struggling to remember how you did it last time? You're not alone. NetSuite, for all its power, can feel like a labyrinth when it comes to user management. It's that moment when you think, surely there's a simple way to add a user, and then you're staring at a myriad of roles, subsidiaries, and access levels. We've all been there. Picture this: a new marketing coordinator joins your team, ready to hit the ground running. They need access to campaign data, customer lists, and reporting. You, as the NetSuite admin, are tasked with making it happen. But you're also juggling a dozen other tasks, and the thought of navigating NetSuite's user setup feels like climbing Everest in flip-flops. Or maybe you're a consultant onboarding a new client. You need to create a dedicated user for them, ensuring they have the right level of access without compromising your system's security. It's a delicate balance, and one wrong click can lead to a data breach or a frustrated client. The truth is, creating a user in NetSuite isn't just about clicking a few buttons. It's about understanding the intricate web of roles, permissions, and subsidiaries that make up your NetSuite environment. It's about ensuring data security, maintaining compliance, and empowering your team to work efficiently. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the process of creating a user in NetSuite, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down the entire process, step by step, and demystify the complexities of NetSuite user management. We'll cover everything from the basics to the advanced tips and tricks that will save you time and prevent headaches. Let's start with the basics. First, you'll need to have the administrator role or a role with the necessary permissions to create users. If you don't have these permissions, you'll need to reach out to your NetSuite administrator. Once you have the necessary permissions, navigate to Setup, then Users/Roles, and finally, Manage Users. Here, you'll see a list of all existing users. To create a new user, click the New button. Now let's fill in the required fields. First, you'll need to enter the user's email address. This will be their login username. Next, enter their first and last name. You can also add a middle name or initial if needed. The next crucial step is to assign a role to the user. Roles define the level of access a user has within NetSuite. NetSuite comes with a variety of predefined roles, such as sales representative, accountant, and administrator. You can also create custom roles to meet your specific needs. To assign a role, click the Roles sub-tab. Here, you'll see a list of available roles. Select the appropriate role or roles for the user. Remember, you can assign multiple roles to a user, but it's important to be mindful of the combined permissions they will have. Next, you'll need to set the password. NetSuite allows you to either generate a random password or set a password manually. For security purposes, it's generally recommended to generate a random password and then require the user to change it upon their first login. You can also set password policies, such as requiring a minimum password length or complexity. These policies can be configured in Setup, then Company, and finally, General Preferences. Now let's talk about subsidiaries. If your NetSuite account uses subsidiaries, you'll need to assign the user to the appropriate subsidiary or subsidiaries. This determines which data the user can access. To assign a subsidiary, click the Access sub-tab. Here, you'll see a list of available subsidiaries. Select the appropriate subsidiary or subsidiaries for the user. You can also set the user's default subsidiary. Another important aspect of user setup is setting the user's language and time zone. This ensures that the user's NetSuite interface is displayed in their preferred language and time zone. To set the language and time zone, click the Preferences sub-tab. Here, you'll find options to set the language, time zone, and other user preferences. Now let's delve into some advanced tips and tricks. One crucial aspect is the Give Access option. If this is unchecked, the new user will not receive an email to log in. This can be useful if you are setting up many users at one time and want to send the login instructions at a later moment. Another useful tip is to use the Copy Role feature. If you need to create a user with similar permissions to an existing user, you can copy their role. This saves time and ensures consistency. To copy a role, navigate to Setup, then Users/Roles, and finally, Manage Roles. Select the role you want to copy and click the Copy button. You can then modify the copied role as needed. Remember to consider security best practices when creating users. Always assign the least privilege necessary to perform the user's job duties. Regularly review user access and remove any unnecessary permissions. Utilize the Login Access subtab to manage how a user can access NetSuite. You can restrict access to specific IP addresses or require two-factor authentication for added security. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to enter a code from their mobile device in addition to their password. This helps prevent unauthorized access to your NetSuite account. NetSuite also offers the ability to create user groups. User groups allow you to assign permissions to a group of users at once, rather than assigning permissions to each user individually. This can save time and simplify user management. To create a user group, navigate to Setup, then Users/Roles, and finally, User Groups. Click the New button and follow the prompts to create a new user group. Another valuable tool is the Role Change Audit Trail. This allows you to track changes made to user roles, providing an audit trail for compliance and security purposes. To access the Role Change Audit Trail, navigate to Setup, then Users/Roles, and finally, Role Change Audit Trail. When you're creating a user, make sure to document the process. This will help you maintain consistency and ensure that you're following best practices. Create a checklist or a standard operating procedure (SOP) that outlines the steps involved in creating a user. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.